has everybody seen my self-wicking container method videos? I try to dumb it down as much as possible, but I'm going to do it right here live. I've got all the tools, I think, with me. So ask all the questions you want. Give me all the likes you want. If you're stumped on anything, feel free to ask. But again, you can literally grow everything in these containers. And I'm going to try to talk over my kids because they're outside playing. They've been stuck inside the last 2 or 3 days because of the rain. Where can you get some strawberries? Well, I sell strawberries in my Etsy shop. I sell literally everything that I grow here. Strawberry plants, blackberry plants, pineapple plants, raspberry plants, figs I sell. You name it, I probably got it. Mulberry, that's what I've got all in my Etsy shop. Sell longevity spinach, which is an awesome spinach that's easy to grow. Stay right there. I save all my milk jugs. But basically, what happens is in this container, sitting in the bottom of them, just like that, is basically every one of these milk jugs is filled up with water. And they constantly are sitting there waiting to release the water back into the soil once it starts drying out. And your roots in your plants go all the way down and touch the very bottom of the container. But as long as there's about 20% of the soil touching that water, your plant is not going to drown. If you got any questions in the middle of this, we're going to do this live, okay? And I'm going to try not to mess this up. So feel free to ask, and I hope everybody stays around, like this thing as much as possible, because I'm going to do my best to answer everything y'all throw at me during this live. Anyway, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to do a quick measurement. We're going to literally say, we're going to put our hand on here, and we're 5 inches from the bottom with our 4 fingers here. So I'm gonna say, hey, there's about 5 inches, and I'm gonna drill a hole, okay? So I'm gonna drill a hole about right here. And I got my first hole in it. Just like that, we have our first hole in the container right here. There's no holes on the bottom. The whole point of this system is to make sure all this fills up with water. This whole bottom fills up with water. And this allows your jugs to fill up with water as well. So the basic concept is all this fills up with water and it stays there. And as a result, the water actually goes into these milk jugs. And then the water is actually going to be slowly released as the soil starts drying out. With that being said, we got our first hole drilled. Then we're going to take a drill bit that's smaller than the size of a pencil. Okay? It has to be smaller than the size of a pencil. And the reason why is because if you make it too big of a hole in these containers, they'll just let dirt go in and they'll fill up with dirt and the system will not work. Okay? If we're going to make sure we keep the caps on these bottles, because we got to have this where dirt can't go inside of it. But we're going to drill 4 holes at the very bottom, 1 inch from the bottom. Literally, just like that. We're drilling holes in the very bottom. And what this does is it allows the water, again, it allows the water that's sitting at the bottom to go into this thing and sit there and wait to be released back into the soil as it dries up. Then what we got to do next is we got to drill holes at the very top to allow this container to breathe, to allow water to go back out. So imagine a straw. You cover up the top, the water can't get out. Well, it's the same concept. So we got to drill holes at the very top. So I'm drilling about 4 holes at the very top. Again, your drill bit is the size or less of a pencil. Okay, nothing has to be exactly perfect, but you really want to do something about 1 inch from the bottom and about 2 or 3 inches from the top of this thing. Okay, we got our first one done. So now this milk jug goes in and sits in this container, okay? got another one. I've got to do the same thing. So, drilling my holes into the top as much as possible. Then I'm doing also the same thing on the bottom. 1 inch from the bottom. Okay, 4 holes at the top, 4 holes at the bottom. I've got another one ready to go. If you stick around to the very end, you will watch me plant my blackberry bushes in this. And if you're just joining and you know nothing about what I do, I sell blackberry plants, I sell raspberry plants, I sell pineapple plants, sell fig trees, mulberries, strawberry plants, olive trees. I got it all, and I'll ship them straight to your door. So go to my link in my bio. I have an Etsy shop. That's where I sell everything. Go there, go look at everything. A lot of this method I'm using here literally is to allow you to grow whatever you want to grow, even if you rent or you don't have any land, or you live on literally 1/3 of an acre, but you got an entire backyard. That's pretty much, you know, you might not have any spots you can grow on. So basically, you grow everything in these containers, and you can take them anywhere. And I had somebody post saying, yeah, right, you can't move these containers 100 yards. I can literally pick up these containers because they're only halfway filled up with soil. That's what people don't understand is the other part is just jugs. The first half of this system is your jugs. So what you want to do is if you want to have yourself a system to make sure you can take your plants everywhere, this is what you need to do. And you can grow your own food out of it anytime you want. Fruit trees, peach trees, mulberry trees, you name it, anything you can do. Including blackberry bushes, raspberry bushes. You can even do strawberry plants if you want to as well. So anyway, we've got this jug's ready to go. And then you'll need one last jug, and this one last jug is meant to put a pipe into it so you can water it from the top. So we'll still have to put holes in it. And we're planting blackberries in this stuff, guys. Again, you can put anything you want to in it. Anything you want to. So again, putting holes 1 inch from the bottom. Well, you can buy these containers from a lot of cattle farmers because these are protein tubs. These are tubs that have protein that are meant for cattle, and they use all the protein in them, and they're just sitting around, and a lot of cattle farmers actually give them to you. So what I would do is I just try to find somebody. You might can find somebody on a Facebook marketplace. I buy mine for about $5 a piece. And I try to buy as many as I can whenever I see them. Because these containers, another thing too, is people ask, well, how long will they last? These containers last 6 years if they're in the sun nonstop. And they last even longer if you store them away during the winter time. So you get them out of direct sunlight and you put them out of all the weather conditions. You can do all of that. You can hang on these containers for a lot longer. I've got my containers pretty much ready to go. Now my container looks a lot like this. Okay, I've got 3 covered, and one has an open, and that is ready for my PVC pipe. And I'm going to cut a PVC pipe right now, and we're going to tape it to this box, to this container, so it doesn't slip in and out of. Okay, so that's what it looks like. All right, so I'm placing this up there. I'm gonna try to cut this, number one, at an angle. And I'm also trying to measure, make sure it sticks out of my container too. So that's about where it sticks out of my container. I'm gonna try to do it at an angle, and hopefully you can see this. And maybe it'll sit still long enough. I'm trying to make sure I cut it at an angle. So anyway, here we go. We got this ready to go. We got our PVC pipe. Now we're gonna put it in here, just like this. just like this. And then we're going to tape it. And we're going to take some duct tape right now. I'm going to take some duct tape, just like this. And I'm going to tape it around and seal it off. That's really what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to seal that off. Just like that. So no dirt can go inside this container from this spot right here. And then this is not slipping in and out of it, okay? So this is where we fill it up. And now your container should look a lot like this, okay? So now we're ready for some dirt, okay? Now what I always say is make sure you only have about 20% of the bottom showing, okay? So if you want to, you can maybe put like a little half-gallon jug right in the middle. But for this video, I'm just showing you exactly how it works. A lot of people say, well, you know, I ain't got milk jugs and all that kind of stuff. You can literally do the same thing with these little water bottles right here. Just go get your random water bottle. And you can do the same thing there. So what I'm doing is literally drilling holes. Got to get my battery back in that. Just drilling holes into that same water bottle. I'm going to do the same thing on this one at the top as well. All right. So now this one's good to go. So now I can put this in the gap. I can put that in the gap and make it where it's more like 20% of my soil is actually touching. I really try to focus on growing fruits in these containers because really, truly, my kids, more than anything, just eat the mess out of fruit. That's why I sell fruit plants. They're all in my Etsy shop, link in bio. You know, I have pretty much every variety of blackberry bushes, every variety of raspberry bushes. I've got mulberry trees, fig trees, list goes on and on. Pineapple plants. You can grow pineapple plants in this. And people say they can't grow pineapples. You can actually grow pineapples directly in containers, no matter what state you're in. As long as you move them away and put them out of the freezing temperatures, they'll still grow way up north. So don't worry. People can actually grow pineapple plants anywhere. You can also grow them in these. You can do the same exact method in one of these containers as well. You can try it with nearby anything. So you can go to Lowe's, buy these for $10. These 20-gallon tubs. You can put 2 tomato plants in those. You can put 2 tomato plants in these. So basically, you can literally put whatever you want to. Fruit trees, like I said, I posted a video that you don't need land in order to grow your own fruit trees. So many people would say, oh, you know, I'd like to have that, but, you know, I got nowhere to put it. Put it right out in your front yard. Go get you 3 or 4 of them. Get 3 or 4 of these containers. Plant you whatever fruit tree you want in them. And make sure they just stay watered. And they're going to last. Now, the only downside to it is your fruit trees, or, you know, your fruit trees will get about 1 to 2 feet from their max height. So what I would say is, you know, if a peach tree's max height is supposed to be 15 feet, then it's probably only going to get 12 to 13 feet tall. It's still going to give you fruit, and you still be able to grow anything you want out of it. But let me get you back to this. So I'm ready now to add some dirt, and I've got to make some dirt. So I'm making room. Don't go nowhere. I'm going to mix my soil right here. Do not go nowhere. I always use half peat moss, half black cow. I always use that. Here's black cow. It's always a yellow bag. But again, everything is on my YouTube channel. You can grow everything. And now my chickens have ran all the way over here because they hear my plastic bag. So I'm mixing my soil up right now. right now, just mixing it all up. All right, so I got my container. I'm about to add my dirt to it now. Again, this is what your container should somewhat look like. We've got the self-wicking method. This just fills in the gaps, makes it where about 20% of the bottom is showing. Okay. And I'm gonna show you after I add some dirt what it looks like. All right. I'm just filling in the gaps here. It goes all the way around it. All right, so now your self-wicking tub looks like this. So again, what will happen is we'll fill this thing up with water. This jug fills up. Then those holes will allow that water to release into the bottom 5 inches of this container. Then, once the bottom 5 inches of the container fills up, yes, just imagine the whole bottom layer is nothing but muddy water. What happens is that water's sitting there. Well, then it's got to go somewhere. So it's either got to go into these extra containers that we got holes in, or it's going to come out this one hole right here. So basically, when all those jugs get filled up, that water will come out of this container. So basically, your plant can't drown at all from doing this. When I go to plant my blackberries, I'm actually going to mix just a little bit of pine bark mulch extra in it. And the reason why is because, to me, it just makes sure my soil doesn't get packed and I don't have problems with my soil later. Especially when you're growing these things in a container, you don't want to have everything. You don't want your soil so packed. And I'm getting ready to put it on top of all this stuff. So here you go. That's the self-wicking method. That's the setup. So now I'm just ready to dump all the rest of it in there. Me. That's a lot of lifting for a live. You know that? And I think I'm pretty much ready. So, anyway, if you're just joining, I'm planting blackberries in the self-wicking container because, again, I've told everybody you can grow everything in them. So I'm going to show you. Yeah, this has been sitting in there in this pot for a while here at my house. Now, these things will probably look terrible, and that's because they got nowhere else to grow except for in that pot, so they start trying to turn brown. And I got another one right here. I'm going to try to make room for this one. But let me tell you something. I got where I had a green thumb from trying, because gardening is not the same there as it is here, and that's what I can tell you the most. That's what I like the most about gardening. I find that my method of teaching garden is a little bit different than everybody else, because what works for somebody else might necessarily work for you. And so I've said all that to say, just figure it out. Just honestly figure it out on your own. I would literally try to learn as much as possible, and then you'll start realizing you just make it your own. All right, now I ain't got nothing in my hands. And just like that, you don't need land to literally grow your own food. You don't need it at all. You literally can grow your own stuff right in these self-wicking tubs. And that is what I pretty much have based everything on since I started seeing everybody's interested in these containers. So again, I just grew this. I planted one seed in there, and that's that. I also can show you this spinach over here. This spinach is literally flawless. I don't do anything to it. There ain't nothing wrong with it. There ain't a spot on it. Okay. You can literally eat it right now. You can grow all this stuff right in your backyard. So, if you haven't seen, I've done a video on peach tree. I've done a peach tree in these things. You can grow mulberry trees. You can grow apple trees. Now, the only catch is they won't get as tall or as big. And the self-wicking method just allows you to always have access to water, or have your plant always have access to water. Yeah, you can do collard greens that same way. So the longevity spinach is in my Etsy shop too. Now, what's unique about this is it's like a tropical spinach. It likes heat. There's a lot of people that don't grow spinach because it doesn't really like heat. This does. What soil can you use? I use black cow with peat moss. The yellow bag behind me. Yes, it's back there. Yes, you can get you a 20-gallon container just like this. Let me back up. Just like this from Walmart. You can grow them in those. All you need is a bunch. Start saving all your milk jugs. Ask your friends who have kids. If you buy a gallon tea, whatever, start saving every one of those. Because you need about 6, 5, it just depends on the size of the container. 4 to 6 usually is the average. Gardening is truly trial and error. What works for some people don't work for others. What you see people posting about doesn't necessarily work for other people. So what I will tell you is the container method allows you to put your plant inside, to move it around, to cover it up in extreme temperatures, and allows you to fertilize them and keep them alive longer, and just learn that way. The name of the container is a mineral tub. I hope everybody's learned something. And if you want me to keep doing stuff like this, let me know. It's the first time I've ever done DIY live. I'm glad to show y'all that I picked zucchini live on here. I planted my blackberry bushes live in this wicking tub behind me. My longevity spinach back there, bugs don't mess with that at all. I don't really have a problem with bugs, and I hate to say it because some people in here will probably tell me differently, but I think a lot of it's because I have them in containers off the ground, away from where the bugs really are. Now, don't get me wrong, we haven't had like those June beetles yet show up, and they get a hold of my raspberry bushes pretty hard. But I haven't had really any problems. And if you do have problems, I just would suggest you get some chickens because they'll try to find them. Has anybody seen what's behind me? Hey, everybody, I've been waiting for this moment. I posted a video about Ori. Okay, I hope everybody's still here. I posted a video about Ori, this mule, and he's always here. He's always here. He's right there in the cracks. And he's just sitting there waiting on me. So we're going to do this live. So everybody can see Ori. Everybody like this thing as much as possible. Because he's right here waiting. You say, hey, bud. Say, hey. So that's Ori, everybody. Ori always hears me talking. And he shows up all the time from when I'm making videos. And he just stands there. He's just waiting. Ori, yes. His name is Ori. O-R-I or O-R-Y. Right there. And he's just standing there. That's all he does. He's just waiting for me to give him some attention. Get off now for an hour. No, I'm not living the dream. I'm not living the dream. Y'all could help me get there, though. Y'all could really help me get there. By going in to go check out my YouTube channel. I don't get paid on TikTok. The only way I get paid is if you buy some of my blackberry bushes, if you buy some strawberry plants from me. I don't ask people for money. I want to help you so I can get your money and help you that way. I want to provide value to you more than anything. I might be living somebody's dream. That's for sure. Yes, Ori is living the dream. He just sits there and waits. All the answers about yes, I ship all my plants straight to everybody's door, and I guarantee that they're alive. Now, what you do with them after that, don't kill them 30 days later and say, hey, I killed my plants. I'm sorry. Yes, I did replenish the lemongrass. I do have plenty of lemongrass as well. How many tomato plants can go in there? 2 tomato plants can go in this self-wicking container. Yes, I do ship the plants straight to your door. I guarantee that they're alive. I appreciate everybody who just takes the time and watches my stuff, and hopefully I've helped you along the way. But anyway, so with that said, I appreciate every one of y'all. Hope y'all all have a great week. And y'all take care.